Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. This is a special by mostly popular demand live stream for the first time ever where we cover the results of the elections and how they will play out. We'll find out. We will see as we watch these races. We've got the governor races up. We also have the Senate and House races that we're looking at here. And right now we're going to kind of go through this and see where things are. Before we do that, we need to pop out you guys and see who's here watching us so far. And let's see, this is a first, so I may be a little bit, I've never done this before, so this is going to be a little bit different thing for me. But yes, and Senator Sal, that's right, they go, hey, Matt Bittner, good to see you. So there's something a little bit different that we're doing here. Because on Sunday night's live stream, there was a great interest in me doing this. So I thought I would do this. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer at the beginning. Caution. These are my opinions and my opinions alone. I like to consider this, in my views on politics, to be fair but not balanced. That's right. I'm pretty transparent in my political views, my ideological views. And that ideology centers around limited government and voting for candidates around limited government and about more or less what this nation was founded upon. That's kind of what my feeling is. So this is something that I believe in strongly. So I pay attention. I think it's wise to vote. And so I'm going to start. I don't know what our crowd is looking like here, but it was a very small crowd so far. But I'm going to start a little poll. Let's see here. And I want to just find out and see if you voted today. You could be watching this from the West Coast, or the middle part of the country, or the East Coast. Likely, well, polls are closed on the East Coast. I think most states are closed. So let me know if you voted. If you are in a state where the polls are not closed yet, I strongly encourage you to vote. Right now, let's see here. So we're getting some people chiming in on that. But so you will hear me express my political views, but that does not mean that you shouldn't express yours if you have differing views. I welcome all kinds and all viewpoints. It's just that I'm going to be expressing my hope that the Republicans do a red tsunami tonight, but I doubt that's going to happen. I predict we might get 52 seats at the most in the Senate, and we will pick up a majority in the House, but it may not be the red tsunami we're looking for, but it might be a red wave. We're hoping so. But right now, we're going to take a look at some of these results and see where they are at. And we're going to look in each of these states and see what's happening. Vermont, we've got Welch is the senator, and it looks like he's already been marked as one. Of course, in Vermont, it's a very, very left-leaning state. I was through there recently for the first time, just on the southeastern tip, and boy, they are woke like crazy in Vermont. So this does not surprise me. Of course, that Senate seat is basically unheard of compared to what we have with Bernie Sanders being there. New Hampshire, the results are coming in. This is one to watch. Many people were thinking that Bolduc may have a chance. Libertarian Party is coming in there too, which may take votes away from Bolduc. And it looks like out of the starting gate that Hassan, who is the incumbent, is looking strong there, but votes are very early coming in there. But we shall see. That's a tough one to really tell, but there was some hope that Bolduc could come out ahead. I'm predicting that Hassan is going to keep the seat tonight, but I hope I am wrong. Let's see here. Very good. Let's see. Robert E. Lee is here. Good to see you. And so there's what Vermont's looking like now. Connecticut is another one. They've already called for Blumenthal, which is sad. And this is before any of the votes come in, but they pretty much all the exit polling, they could probably come into that to see where we're at with that one. So let's see. This thing, we can click on states here, and maybe that might be the better way to go. Biden campaigned in Maryland yesterday, and it's a good thing he did because Van Hollen may not have made it. Actually, I'm being facetious there. He's only campaigning in states where he knows he can't hurt the Democrats. Maryland is one of the most left-leaning states in the union, especially if the counties are surrounding Washington, D.C. So there is that. There are some House races to watch actually in Virginia we may look at here before the evening's out. Well, we definitely need to do that before the evening's out. But here in North Carolina, the results are coming in with almost 40% of the vote. And it looks like that Beasley has a very strong lead so far. Now, the only way to really tell, we can't say much from where these are at, even if it gets up to 60%, because a lot of these places, depending on where their reports are coming in, obviously if more reports are coming in from the cities than the counties, then this would obviously be the case that Beasley would be ahead. But we'd have to look at that to see which counties and how they're reporting. Obviously, places like Raleigh, some of the bigger cities, and we've got Concord, Asheville, Charlotte is a big city there. They're going to mostly be voting Democrat. Kentucky, no problem for Paul. He's already been confirmed, projected as the winner there. Indiana, Young has been projected as a winner there. No surprises in any of those places. South Carolina, Scott has been projected as a winner there. No surprise there. Still not sure about North Carolina. Georgia, this is the one to watch. So far, Warnock is ahead with 28% of the vote in, but again, still too early to tell. So we'll see what happens there. And yes, indeed. Alabama, again, no problem. Britt is there. Florida, there was a little bit of a concern that Rubio may not be able to pull it off, but he's been projected as the winner already. It was somewhat of a close race, but nonetheless, we're seeing this here. Thank you, Scott S., for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate that. $10. Thank you, sir. Very kind of you. There's where they're at. Oklahoma is another Senate seat that Mullins got. No worries there. That's the projected win for that. Now, these West Coast states be coming in. California, you can pretty much bet there's not going to be any. Padilla is going to be reelected there in California. Oregon is another one that probably Wyden's going to win. Washington is the one to watch. Now, we may not be live streaming by the time this race, the polls close in Washington tonight. But if Smiley could pull this off, that'd be great. But really what we're going to watch is New York. And we're going to watch some of these races also for the House, which some of these are too early to call so far. But we're going to look here because there's two districts in Virginia that are considered bellwethers for the whole kit and caboodle, and that is the Virginia's 7th district. If Vega can pull this out in this 7th district, that could be a good thing for the way that the night could go. The night could go. And right now, it's still too early to tell. 35% of the vote showing Vega, and then also Virginia 10th is another one. If this is one that's actually in that county, what is the name of that county? Loudoun County. I think it's Loudoun County. If Loudoun County can come through, that is where all the stuff with the schools, that was ground zero for all of the critical race theory and the trans stuff in the schools. That was ground zero for that, and a lot of people started to come alive, and a lot of parents, and I think that some of these places, this is kind of what led Youngkin to become the governor of Virginia. So some of these districts are coming through, starting to report here early, just after an hour after polls closed in some of these East Coast states here. So we're very interested to see some of these other House seats we're going to be watching. In Georgia, 12th district. Allen is the, in this candidate, he's the incumbent. And it's a close race so far, 25% of the vote. We'll see what happens. Hello, Silver Wolverine. Good to see you. So there's where that is. The governor races we're watching. There's only one that I have up here. Michigan is one. Tudor Dixon. Some of these are coming in. The polls are just closed in Michigan, 2% reporting. Again, this is very early, so these numbers are preliminary depending on which precincts are reporting faster, if they're in the cities or in the localities. We're not at that level where we can see that. If we click on this, we can kind of, in this map, we can kind of see Detroit is reporting first, so it makes sense that she would be ahead. So let's see if we can zoom out a bit. Okay, we can get in closer, but there's where Michigan is. So we can do that. We'll keep track of all of those and some of these states to see. And governor here, this is going to be interesting to see. Pittsburgh is reporting. Some of these counties here are showing. Let me see if I can get in closer. Philadelphia. These are just showing where these counties are going to go. Obviously, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh are going to go blue. But they're not showing what percentage of each county is reporting, so we're not getting that. Then Texas governor, right now it's showing that better work is ahead, but again, this is 17% reporting. Most everybody feels that Greg Abbott's going to pull that off. And same thing with Florida. DeSantis has already been, after 75% reporting. Look how fast Florida is reporting the results. Guys, this is the model. See, Florida, after the year 2000, what happened there? They completely reorganized how they did their elections in Florida. Now look at this. Florida went from confirmed to undecided now. So it went from projected winner Ron DeSantis to now it unchecked that. Just now it did that. That's kind of crazy. Wow. So I don't know what's going on there, but we'll keep an eye on it. Some of these other states, again, showing this. Okay, now we've got projected winner again, Ron DeSantis. See, these are happening on the fly here. Yeah, Walker better win in Georgia. I'm hoping so. Right now, Brian Kemp and Stacey Abrams with 29% of reporting, still showing us undecided but leaning right now. Again, we're not seeing how many counties are coming through. We're not getting percentages of each county. We're not getting anything there when we zoom in tight. So we're just showing leads. So a little early yet in some of these counties. Alabama, Kay Ivey, no surprise there. And again, look at this. This is an example, 1% reporting. Yolanda Flo is showing 78.8%, but again, this is early. So we'll keep an eye on that. Again, Tennessee, no issues there. Mike DeWine, who was actually a rather short man, as I found out last night at Trump's rally that I watched. But yes, indeed, a short guy, but likely he'll pull that off. Illinois, no surprise there either. That heavily Democrat state. So there's where we're at. So there it is. All right. Very good, governor. Let's get back to the House and see where we are at. And see if there's any projections made out. Texas House candidates here are starting to pull in. There is a candidacy down here that I want to focus on. And I forget her name. Let's see here. But she won for the first time in I don't know how many years. It's one of these southern districts in Texas. And she is a rock star, but I forget her name. Maybe De La Cruz. And this one. And the 15th. But she's the incumbent, so it's got to be one of these others. But we'll see. We may zoom into that one later. So let's go back to the Senate. Well, let's look at Georgia and the Senate this time and see what's going on here with the Senate and Georgia. Right now, we have got 30% of the vote in. And Warnock is now still ahead. We zoom in on Georgia. I don't know that this is going to give us any county results here. So I don't know. We'll find out. But it doesn't look like it's giving us any results there for on the county level. And maybe we scroll down here and see if we have anything happening here. Thank you, SAS Crypto, for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate that, my friend. Very kind of you. So we're going to keep an eye on these. Nothing in here that gives us any indication by county. And I like to look at the county reporting of these things to kind of give an indication. You can do a lot more predictive analysis because usually these counties that are abutting the large cities tend to vote more Democrat, but it's also the time now where we may see some of those flip. The suburban counties or areas or districts tend to really give us a bellwether. So we'll see here. So we'll keep an eye on this. Now, while we wait for more results to come in, I want to draw your attention to this story. Hello, John W. Good to see you. Glad to see all of you guys being here. Appreciate you being here as we do this. We're doing an election night watch here. Some coverage of some of the results coming in from the East Coast, at least. But look at this coming to us from Maricopa County. Maricopa County election officials try to reassure voters amid reports that nothing is working. It's pretty scary. We've been here before. They've never really fixed it in Arizona. A cesspool. We found out in Arizona that Kerry Lake had to go vote in another precinct because they're screwed up, the polls. Watch this little clip.
So I put my ballot, it got misread, but then what was happening?
Put it in there,
yeah.
And tonight a Republican and a Democrat will sit and go through all of the misread ballots all over the county and count them, and it will get counted.
Okay, and the both machines are not working yet.
No, nothing's working in the last half hour. No.
So there you go, nothing's working. So she's trying to reassure that there's going to be Republicans and Democrats watching, but I tell you, there's well, I don't want to say too much, but let's just say there's some affidavits from the last election out there that need some serious looking at, and I fear the same thing could happen here. But we'll see here. So those of you, I appreciate your honesty in this vote, on this poll here. Maybe for those of you in areas where polls are open, stop what you're doing now and go vote. I strongly encourage you. We need all the votes we can get. Yes, indeed. Okay. Very good. Appreciate you guys being here tonight. There's where we are at. And let's see what this video talks about here.
Maricopa County, I'm Bill Gates, the chairman of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors.
And I'm Stephen Richard, the Maricopa County Recorder.
And we're here to give you an update on how things are going so far with the election. We've already had almost 44,000 people show up this morning, check in, and be available to vote. And things are going great out there, but there's one thing that we wanted to address to make people aware of today, and that has to do with our tabulators. We've got about 20% of the locations out there where there's an issue with the tabulator, where some of the ballots that after people have voted them, they try and run them through the tabulator and they're not going through. But the good thing is we do, first of all, we're trying to fix this problem as quickly as possible, and we also have a redundancy in place. If you can't put the ballot in the tabulator, then you can simply place it here in where you see the number 3, and this is a secure box where those ballots will be kept for later this evening, where we'll bring them in here to Central Count to tabulate them.
So this would function much like early voting functions, in that we would...
Now, the thing is the very fact that they have to make this video on election day and have not fixed it after 2+ years with this problem. In fact, there was a report done in 2018 about this that was pretty bad too. So it's definitely an issue, folks. And I want to read this comment from Christy Easley. What about people smart enough not to vote Republican or Democrat? Only a fool votes the two-party. Well, I would say, Christy, let me give you an example of voting Libertarian, how bad that would be. I just saw it here. New Hampshire. You see this in New Hampshire, Christy? Look at this closely. New Hampshire, we have Kaufman from the Libertarian Party. If this gets close enough, and there's a 2.2% margin, and there's one seat available, you would have given your country up to socialists for voting for Kaufman. Do not vote third party. Do not vote Libertarian in this election, especially if it's in a close race like what potentially could be in New Hampshire. These are 12% results in, but that's a hypothetical. There have been races won and lost by Libertarian parties for those who vote our side. So just keep that in mind. This is why you should vote, not vote third party in those cases. Now, if it's in California or a place where you know it's going to go your way, then maybe it's one thing. But very good. Oh, Pickle Rick, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for covering. I'm driving a semi and really wanted to know what's happening. Thank you, Pickle Rick. We're going to try to keep you updated, my friend. Stay tuned. I may not be able to be on too late. I just got through with another live stream, and so I hope my voice holds out. I got some water here, but we're going to go through here. But yes, if you haven't voted, sadly the choices are Republican and Democrat in most of these states. We got to go with the lesser of two evils in some case, but the smart vote is to if you're a Libertarian, is to vote Republican. Some of these candidates are very strong candidates, especially in Arizona. With Masters, he's a really good guy, and in fact, Victor, the Libertarian, he actually dropped out of the race and endorsed Masters. So if you're in Arizona, when you vote, make sure it's Masters. One push-up for every vote. There you go. But you guys are great. Thank you for being here. All right. So let's see here. So there's with it. Let's see the House, if we have anything coming in from the House here. Likely most people, I think even Joe Biden has pretty much conceded that we're going to probably be able to take the House at the very least. But I don't know. But nonetheless, very good. All right. Nice. Way to go. Year of the retard. He was an Oregon and voted Republican. Oregon has a race here. Now the Senate, let's go back to the Senate in Oregon. There is some real competitive races in Oregon now. I don't know if the Senate is competitive or not, but I think the governorship is competitive in Oregon. No results yet. No election in Washington for governor. But Washington for senator, though, has Patty Murray, and she is facing a real challenge with Smiley. That would be a nice pickup if we could get that seat. Murray has been in that seat for over 30 years, so it's about time. Very liberal, left-leaning. I've heard she's a nice lady, but nonetheless, she's plagued by the swamp, but no question. All right, Illinois, no question that Duckworth would be projected the winner there. So there's where things are at in the Senate. And Vermont, let's see here. So it's very early on tonight. We're getting, things are definitely not to the point of any kind of real decision or any kind of big news so far. But I will say this, Pennsylvania, we may not know tonight. Again, these states that do these early mail-in balloting, this mail-in voting stuff is horrible. It should only be done as a last resort, I think, and you should have to have a photocopy of your driver's license and to send that in. And this early voting stuff should stop too. We need same-day votes, one-day vote, make it a national holiday, and everybody vote on one day. I mean, there's obvious exceptions that should be made, but they should be just that, exceptions, because it's ripe for fraud if you have mail-in balloting. And I'm talking about for this and any other election future, as we've seen in the past. But nonetheless, it is what it is. We'll see where we go from here. All right, and let's see here. We have got... By the way, I've got to be very careful with what I say in this live stream. Very careful. Sad, but nonetheless. Okay, where are we at? Let's look at some of the exit polling. Now, this is the AP news, which is very slanted, but let's see here. Half of voters say inflation factors significantly in their vote, as groceries, gasoline, housing, food, and other costs have shot up in the past year, and giving Republicans a vehicle for criticizing President Joe Biden. The economy was an overarching concern, with voters about 8 in 10 of whom said it was in bad shape, as high inflation has raised fears of a recession. Well, we were already there for a while. Nonetheless, there is a chart here that shows some of this stuff, motivating factors for U.S. voters. We can see here what they are: the single most important factor, an important factor, and minor factor. So the vast majority show that. Future of democracy in this country. Well, the thing is, again, understanding what you mean by democracy, because we are a representative republic. But nonetheless, we know where their slant is on that, because they think that we're going to, well, again, I can't say a whole lot, but there, without getting in trouble. But it's a shame I got to choose my words and walk on eggshells. But nonetheless, that's where that stuff. Crime is obviously a big factor. And they're saying that is a very strong 59% there. It's kind of a weird little bar graph there. It really doesn't make a lot of sense at clicking around, but nonetheless, I think this article is pretty much worthless now. We're looking at here. I think we're done with that. We're going to check this out and watch some of these races come in. I hope we can get some good calls tonight. Again, do not look for Pennsylvania to report anything tonight. Very good. All right, hey, Silver Turtle 65 is here. Good to see you. So good to see you. Yes, indeed. All right. Let's look at some of these other races again. We may find out if either one of these candidates don't get 50% of the vote, there'll be a runoff. That I think that election will happen on December the 6th. The top two will get it, which means that the Libertarian. So the Libertarian in this case, again, the Libertarian very well could take votes away from Walker. Already 25,000 votes, that's a lot of votes. People are throwing their vote away if they're wanting to vote for less government in the Libertarian Party in a race like Senate. These people, and in fact, it's so bad, some of these Libertarian candidates, I think, are funded by the Democrat Party. In fact, Utah, this guy in Utah, McMullen, was, I think, went as a Libertarian last time. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong on that. But he's an independent. He's going up against Lee, and the Libertarian is doing it there. So the Libertarian Hansen is hurting Lee in this case, and Lee is one of the most conservative, Libertarian-minded senators in the entire Senate. So it's a foolish to vote for Hansen. Absolutely foolish. We'll see here. Very good. All right. Yeah, I hope you're right, Celtic Knot. Kemp takes Georgia. Kemp takes Georgia right now. That's where that is. In fact, if we look at the governor race, here's where the Senate race is in Georgia now. With 35% of the vote in, 53 to 44, or 53 to 45. What does the governor race look like in Georgia right now at this point in time? 50 to 49.3, with 34% of the vote coming in. So that's interesting that they're that far off. 34% of the vote there, 35% of the vote here. Warnock way ahead of Walker. This does not look good for Walker, which means that I'm going to go on a limb here and say that based off of that, without seeing the county results, the county by county results, that Kemp may win the governorship and Walker may lose the Senate, which would be a crying shame. But Walker really was not the best candidate. And this would not be is not good. This is not good at all. I like Walker, but I think we could have probably had a better, strong candidate. But nonetheless, that's where things are looking at now. Based off of these two numbers, the fact that these numbers are so different between senator and governor here leads me to believe that Brian Kemp may pull this out. And Walker may not, and Warnock may hold on to that seat. Warnock, a guy who ran over his wife's foot and kicked out some of his clergy or some of his parishioners, I guess, at his church for a rental agency they had for $27. Absolutely insane. All right, very good. All right, very good. Thank you. Thank you guys for the thumbs up. Appreciate you guys being here tonight as we are watching these elections come through. Not a whole lot happening now. These votes are slowly trickling in, but so far no projected winners on either side. It's just that the Democrats are taking the early leads in some of these states, but without seeing them and getting into the weeds and seeing what the state results are. The Politico is one of the more, I guess you would say, as much as they can, they are the probably the least biased, I guess you would say. Some of the major, like CNN and Fox News, that's what I was looking for. I was trying to find something that was as least biased as possible, but with accurate results coming in. I don't know what these live updates, okay. Some of these are saying, political junkies in Pennsylvania looking to see how Democratic hopeful Fetterman performs, or Fetterneck I call him, compared to Josh Shapiro. The expectation is Shapiro will outperform Fetterman. GOP gubernatorial candidate Doug Mastriano had hardly any money, never interacted with mainstream media, and is far right, they say. We can tell where Holly Otterbine's views are. Not a lot there. Very good. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on this and see where things are. Basically, we're getting commentaries. All right. America's Voice is saying the opposite. Yes, indeed. Real Clear Politics is not biased. They have results coming in too? You're the retard? Let's see here. All right. Look at these House seats. We're watching Virginia. Some of these Virginia House seats, especially the 7th and the 10th, because these could be bellwethers. And right now, we have 60% of the vote in, and Vega is the challenger in this case, with Spanberger being the, but I heard on some commentary is saying that this 7th district of Virginia very well could be a bellwether for how things go tonight, because of the cross-section of the population there and in the 10th. This is another one where Wexton is the Democrat, and that's Loudoun County, from what I understand, Loudoun County area, that is. And half the vote is in, and Wexton is ahead by about a percentage point there. All right. So we're watching these races fairly closely. Another one to watch is one of these districts down here in the South. There's a lady who won a seat there as a Republican for the first time in a while in a special election. Can she hold on to her seat? And I forget which one it is. It may be Nels. I forget her name. See if any of you guys know. Let me know. All right. We're going to watch some of these seats and see where they are in the House. But again, it's still too early to tell in many of these places here. I mean, obviously, some of these seats, even with early, there's just enough of a strong showing in some of these deep red and deep blue counties and states in these cases here. Delaware at-large district. We've got the Rochester taking the day for sure. But, and this is a state where where it's pretty much impossible, where, it's okay to go ahead and vote for a libertarian in that case. Because, it's, or New York City, if you're going to vote for a New York City council person, go ahead and vote libertarian there, but anyways. All right, but we are watching New Hampshire too. Leavitt, this is one. This seat in the 2nd district. I'm sorry, in the 1st district, Leavitt may have a chance to beat Pappas, 70%. She would be the youngest congressperson at age 25. She would be the youngest congressperson to serve in the history of the House of Representatives. So we'll be watching that one as well. Gary, Indiana is one that tends to vote blue. So you can see where that's looking, but most of Indiana is red. We had another seats projected winners here with Sparts and Banks. And again, you'll notice that we're starting to see some others that are coming through. Kansas district just came in. Some of these polls are closing across the mid part of the state now, and so some of these results are starting to pour in, and some of these precincts are counting pretty fast. Pennsylvania, some of these seats, Pennsylvania's 14th, Pennsylvania's 13th, uncontested, so very red counties and districts in Pennsylvania. All right. So very, very interesting. Let's go back to the Senate and see what's going on there. Again, nothing up except for the stuff that aren't surprises yet, like Illinois, Duckworth. 7%, and they've already projected for her. This is another one where they know it's going to go that way. So, yeah, you can vote Libertarian there, but all right. Very good. Wisconsin closes in 22 minutes, says Eagle Steve. So we may see some stuff come in for Wisconsin here shortly. Ohio, we have Vance versus Ryan. This is one that Ryan is ahead so far. But 28% of the vote is in, and this is not showing us anything in there. All right, very good. We can't see the county by county in those areas yet. So there we go. All right. Georgia, 37% of the vote now in. Warnock's lead rising a bit there, I think. This may be a disappointment for many of us tonight. Considering the governor results, let's see where the governor is now. And we see that Brian Kemp is 37%. Brian Kemp is now taking the lead. But this may not be the red tsunami we were looking for. And it may not be much of a red wave. I hope I'm wrong. It's still early in the night, but part of this makes me a little bit... Brian Kemp has just widened his lead a little bit, as we saw reporting live here. So let's get back and look at the Senate seats and see if there's any change at all here. Warnock still, with 41% of the vote, Warnock still way ahead, or ahead enough, of Walker. I will say Donald Trump predicted 2052, 48, I think, for the Senate tonight. All right, very good. And Walker keeps climbing, says Easy Tech. So maybe he'll continue to climb. I'm hoping you're right. The Global Warmer is here with us tonight. Good to see you, the Global Warmer. So let's see here. That's where we are at tonight. Again, they're not even leaning one way or the other. And for the Senate race in Pennsylvania, I think this is one that's going to just be down to the wire, I think. 7% in. They got to count those. See, a lot of these mail-in ballots, they have to open up. They only start counting them after the polls close. They don't count the early votes before. So they got to verify them and count them. And there was a ruling in the Supreme Court that they can't take any of them that are not dated, which is good. You don't want to take any votes that are illegal or that people don't follow the rules. They need to follow the rules if you're going to vote mail-in voting. If they don't follow the rules, or if they don't get in on time, tough luck. Very good. Okay. I'm holding out hope, but we'll see here. This is why 67% of the audience tonight has voted. 33% have not. I appreciate your honesty. If you have not voted, I encourage you to go out and vote for freedom today. Vote for a restoration of some sanity in this country. We need a balance of power on the Republicans' favor tonight, and we need to send a strong message. So if you are in any of these states where the polls have not closed yet, please stop what you're doing right now and go vote. I strongly encourage you to do it and vote Republican. Sorry, like I said, this coverage is going to be as fair as possible, but it's not balanced, that's for sure. I'm encouraging everybody to vote Republican tonight. Yes, indeed. All right. Good job, T Blue. I appreciate you voting. And by the way, if you are a Democrat here, you're more than welcome to post your viewpoints. You are welcome here as long as you're respectful. We appreciate everybody. I'm just never be afraid to express your opinion here. And I ask people to be respectful of anybody, no matter what their political viewpoints are. We can strongly disagree about issues, but let's not be disagreeable with each other. All right. Yes, indeed. Let's see. All right, very good. Urban D did not vote. I'm not from your country. That's no excuse, Urban D. You should know. I'm kidding. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe the people that haven't voted are not American. That's right. There you go. All right. Thank you so much. I probably should have said, have you voted if you're American and not to participate if you're not. So thank you. Thank you, Urban D. I didn't think about that. Same with JM Unleashed. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Adam Spencer. That's right. What is this election? That's right. All right. Well, you're along for the ride. Thank you. Sorry. There you go. Hello, Katie Colliday. Welcome. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining in here. All right. All right. Yes, everybody is welcome to their opinion, and no matter what that opinion is, you're welcome here. I just ask that people be respectful, and yes, I didn't have the foresight. I should have said, if you're American. Yes, indeed. Actually, if you're not American, if you could uncheck your post, if you can do that, I'd appreciate that. I want to try to do that. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, Biden has put a lid on, there's a White House lid on 11 a.m. today. He's not out anywhere today. So yes, indeed, that's right. Biden is nowhere to be found. All right, so let's see here. Let's get back to the governor's races and see what's happening here. These are happening live. We can see now Brian Kemp's lead has widened with 43% of the vote coming in here. Assuming that they're reporting at the same rate in the same precincts as the Senate race, this is not looking good for Walker. But it's closing a little bit here with Walker and Warnock. So I don't know. Unless there's something I'm missing here, 44% of the votes coming in here. We'll see. But anyways, the Ohio governorship is leaning Ryan. I mean, the Ohio senatorship is leaning Ryan so far with 54.9% to 45%. And for the governor race in Ohio, it's leaning Mike DeWine. I mean, it's heavily Mike DeWine here. So it's not, people are not voting straight Republican ticket, apparently. I don't understand that. If that's the case, that they're reporting in the same precincts, the same districts, how can that be? 31% reporting in Ohio there with the Senate race. There is 31%. So they're picking Ryan over Vance, but they're picking Mike DeWine over Nan Whaley. But no one's heard of Nan Whaley, but they've heard. But yeah, it's mind-blowing. So Vance may not get it tonight. Although the poll showed him, the last two polls, I think, in Ohio showed Vance ahead. But it was only until today. So they could be skewed. So I don't know. But anyways, crazy. Let's have a slurp of some water here. So this is a little discouraging for the Senate race, which is obviously a greater impact on the country. So this is two Senate races that I think we're not going to win tonight, which is unfortunate. And I kind of doubt Oz is going to win tonight too. Just something in my bones thinks that it's disappointing. The governorship in New York, there's nothing coming in New York at all. It's crazy, and how anybody could vote for Schumer is beyond me, but we know he's going to get it, but nothing at all in New York, which is crazy, but I guess then maybe they're up later. Maybe their polls don't close until later in New York. Anybody from New York? Let me know. All right. I need a beer. I could use a beer tonight, too. I forgot to get some beer. All right. Now, again, this is all skewed very early on for Pennsylvania, the reporting here. Texas governorship, 26% reporting show Greg Abbott at 51. To Beto, in other words, Robert Francis, his real name is Robert Francis. But there it is. Yes, Philadelphia is totally corrupt. Totally corrupt. And, so there's where the governorship, let's see what kind of, there's no Senate races, I don't think. Yeah, no Senate races in Texas this year. Tucson Bubba, thank you so much for the beer fund. All right. Yeah, I could use some beer. I don't have any in the refrigerator right now. All right. That's right. Jeff Coney, they will elect to print more money. That's for sure. We get the government we deserve. U.S. Senate race in Arkansas, Boozman projected winner there. Langford projected winner in Oklahoma. No surprises. In any of those cases, we're glad that Rand Paul, he's a champion of the Senate. He won handedly, or will win handedly, as projected. We do that. Now, as we watch these races, it's very early yet, but we're going to look at the metals prices too. We're watching them. They're open in Asia. And right now, gold is normalizing a bit downward, but silver is actually up 4 cents. For the first time in quite a while, the gold to silver ratio is at 79.97, just below 80 to 1. So it's a little unusual, but there's where those are now. Let's get back here to the results here and see where we are at as we march through. So far, no surprises, no big news about who is winning tonight. Of the contested races on the East Coast and in the Midwest, no surprises yet that we are seeing, as we have a good crowd here tonight. I appreciate you guys being here. We're watching the election coverage. Appreciate you guys' support for being here. If you could press the thumbs up on this live stream, I would appreciate that. Liquid Electrum, thank you, my friend. I appreciate the super chat, my friend. $4.99. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, we're watching coverage. We're watching some major races with the Senate. Let's take a look and see if there's any news in these races in Virginia. We're watching some of these Virginia races because they feel that there's 2 congressional districts, the 7th and 10th, that think are going to be bellwethers for the country tonight. And those results have not come in yet, but it's at 70% of the vote in. It's looking very good for the challenger in Virginia's 7th district. That is Vega against Spanberger, who is the Democratic incumbent there. And so it's looking fairly good so far there, although on the other end of the spectrum, we have the Democrat incumbent Wexton in the 10th is up to 51 to 48. Likely we'll get that. So very good. Hey, thank you so much. Pump it up, says John S. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. And where are we at here? Okay. Thank you so much, John S. Thank you guys for your support. So there's where that is. We have others now. This is interesting. Now, West Virginia, I got to say something about West Virginia. We have all right, this seat right here, Virginia's 2nd district. Mooney is ahead. Alex Mooney is the guy that put the gold sound, the bill about the sound money the gold standard, return to the gold standard act. And he is a champion. So we want to watch his seat. So far, they're not calling it for Mooney yet, but likely he will probably retain that seat with 42% of the vote in. But that's great. Alex Mooney, would love to interview him. That is so cool. And then we have another district. West Virginia is, by tradition, a Democrat state. A lot of conservative Democrats there, but nonetheless, that's where we are at there. With Miller as an incumbent as well, with 65% of the vote, with 40% reporting. All right, now let's go down here to Florida. As you can see, Florida, they are efficient in Florida. Look at all these things. 93% voting. I mean, and a lot of these places are almost done counting their votes. Almost done reporting. So we can see some of these seats here. Soto in this area here in Florida's 9th is going to win. They were the incumbent. So no surprise there. None of these surprises. All of these incumbents that are winning. Now, some of these are uncontested, or maybe Florida's 23rd down in this area. You know, obviously no surprise. Let's take a look closer in Florida and see if we can get a better angle here. But a lot of these urban areas, of course, are going to vote for the Democrats. No flips that I see. Now, obviously, some of these that are maybe new ones. I don't see any flips, though, that I see so far yet. Now, this is one where there's no Democrat. Yeah, vote Libertarian. This is where you vote Libertarian. All right. So far, Matt Gaetz won his seat. Very good. No surprises throughout here as we highlight over these. Key West. All right, there we go. Florida's 28th. Jimenez is 1. All right, Rocky Superstar. Polls are closed. I think most of the East Coast polls are closed, my friend. Let's see here. More and more of these places coming in. All right, South Carolina. Clyburn is probably going to win this one. That's probably the only district in South Carolina. He's been a staple, though, for many, many years. This guy was responsible for Joe Biden being president, by the way, Congressman Clyburn. He's the first one to, he was the first one to endorse him. So you can blame him. Insane. All right, very good. All right. Again, you can see some of these places in the more urban areas. You're going to get the Democrats winning these places. Don't see any flips so far, at least from incumbents. A lot of these seats, some of the Democrats retired, so that's why we don't know. We're just not up into the nitty gritty of some of these places, some of these House seats. So, it's right now we're showing these are the GOP. There's the Dems, 47-24. 218 is needed for majority. Very early still in the night for these results to come in. And of course, people are going to be, the networks and these websites are going to be very, very careful not to call these races too early. You don't want to do that. That's not a good look for their reputation. Going back to the Senate now. We're looking here. Again, no surprises. But this concerns me. Although it is narrowing here with Walker coming in. This is encouraging at 46%. Thank you so much. Yes, let's go, Brennan. You're right. Vote. Your choice matters. That's right. If you have participated in my poll from a foreign country, if you don't mind, if you can unvote, if that can happen. I should have put it on there. Did you vote today? I was hoping that the foreigners, I appreciate you guys being here and participating, but if you have said no in the poll, and your votes are still, and the polls are still open in your state, please stop what you're doing right now and go vote. We need you to save the country. Please. please, and vote Republican. I'm sorry, I'm biased through, but this is a live stream with the election results. I'm going to be as fair as possible, but I'm not balanced in any way, shape, or form. Vote Republican. Yes, indeed. All right. Very good. Thank you, guys, and thank you, Let's Go Brandon, for the super chat. Those do help. All right, so here's where we are at tonight. We've got, we're looking at the Senate, we're looking at the House, and the governorship, and these are the sites that I'm using. If you guys know of anything better, if you could, a more accurate, something that goes down to the county level or whatever, and something that's relatively non-biased, you can email it to me, that site, and I will look at it on the other hand and see what it looks like, and then we'll go to that. But these are what I could find just quickly that I could get through here. Now we're looking at the governorship here, and Brian Kemp is extending his lead a little bit there with 47% of the vote in. So that's good. And we're looking at Texas here. Greg Abbott looks to be in pretty good shape so far too. That's good news. And S. Wynn is in Utah. Very good. Wife and I just canceled each other out at the polls. It was a great dinner. Oh, I'm sure it was, S. Wynn. And S. Wynn, I hope that you voted for Mike Lee, the great Mike Lee. And I'm hoping that you can convince your wife. If your wife is listening, man, I hope you can convince her to vote Republican next time. But anyways, thank you, S. Wynn. Very good. All right. Florida's results were as expected. Ron DeSantis projected winner. 85% reporting, which is good. Florida's election results are coming in very quickly and efficiently, like they should be. What's happening in Florida should be the bellwether for how elections are run across the United States. But Pennsylvania is awful. Look at that, 8%. And Florida's got a big city in it too, several big cities. There's no reason why Pennsylvania should be where it is now, but it's abhorrent what's happening in Pennsylvania and Arizona too. We're going to see. Their polls have not closed yet, but Maricopa County, we know the problems there. Yeah, there you go, S. Wynn. Of course, you're a stacker. That's right, exactly. But we have some stackers here that are Democrats too. All right, very good. Yeah, don't write my name in on the ballot. You gotta. Very good. Do not write my name in on the ballot. All right, very good. Thank you. All right. Canada, I vote conservative. There you go, YJ. Way to go. Yep, Evil One is right. The World Economic Forum is bad. Vote metal. Vote metal. Vote Republican. All right, where are we at now? Appreciate you guys being here. A good crowd here tonight as we are watching these polls. How many of you are in? All right, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin has just closed. Yes, anybody here in Pennsylvania, how did it go voting for you, especially if you were in the Philadelphia area? Be very interested to see. Chuck and Plata is here. It's only 5 p.m. here in Alaska. Alaska's going to be another one to watch, by the way. The Alaska Senate race, we've got Murkowski, who is a Republican incumbent, but Kelly is who we really want to be the Republican senator in Alaska. So I'm hoping that she pulls it out. But you never know. Now, there are some, in the House, we have, let's look at the House in Alaska real quick. I don't think it's going to happen, but we have Palin and Bajik. And so that's it. So we may see Palin get that. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see. But right now, we are watching 2 bellwethers in Virginia's 7th and 10th district. Virginia 7th, we got Vega. It's looking good so far with 74% of the vote. But up here, the 10th district is not looking good for KO or SEO, and according to Wexon. Global Warmer, thank you so much. Yes, actually, sadly, I cannot read this this comment, but I agree. And we shall see. But global warmer, I share that sentiment. But anyways, all right, very good. All right. All right, 5.0 is in Pennsylvania near Harrisburg. Voted in the morning. No issues. Very good. All right, very good. And Silver Patriot, both wife and I voted for Kelly. All right, very good. Thank you, Silver Patriot. Thank you, Who's Your Stacker. And again, thank you again, Global Warmer. I wish I could read your comment, but I share that sentiment. All right, very good. Yep, I hear you. That's right. Over here. All right, Firewood Hut voted in Pittsburgh area. Voted at 11 o'clock. No waiting. Okay, very good. Thank you. Walker tied it up. All right, let's see here. Let's go to the Senate now. Liquid Electrum has just shared some good news with us. Let's go to the Senate side and look at Georgia. We're watching Georgia closely. It is, nope, it is not tied up, Liquid Electrum. Ah, man, you got my hopes up there. Man, I was hoping that it would have been tied up, but Walker is behind pretty dramatically here. Dang it. This sucks. Warnock has increased his lead in Georgia so far. And that is awful, especially considering it looks like Walker's going to lose that race handedly, unfortunately. And why do I say that? Because look at the governor's race. Kemp is ahead solidly here, assuming that they are about the same margin or same precincts reporting. Brian Kemp far ahead here, and Walker way behind here. Sad, very sad. It sucks. Silver Patriot, thank you for being a member for 4 months. As an honorary citizen, I appreciate that, my friend. All right. But Walker was not the best candidate. But I like Walker. But, but still, how can you vote for somebody who ran over his wife's foot? And who also... just bad. And the policies, Warnock, very hard leftist. How could Georgia vote for a hard leftist? I don't get it. If you are in Georgia, let me know if you're here. Yeah, Texas polls, there's nothing in the Senate there. Texas, there's a couple of districts where we're looking at here in the southern part of Texas to see one lady, I forget her name, and one of these districts is a rock star. She was the first to win this district in quite a long time, but I forget her name. It may have been Flores. Her name may be Flores, but they're showing 2 incumbents there. I guess because this is the toss-up or whatever. And so far she's behind, so she may lose that seat if that's the one I'm thinking of. But these typically vote Democrat, and Coelho is a Democrat there. And this one may be the one that she may lose that one. We'll find out. If that's who I'm thinking, if it's Flores. Or De La Cruz, I'm not sure, but one of these here. Okay. Let's see here. That's the House seat we're watching there. We're watching a couple of House seats in Virginia. We're watching the 7th here. The lead is narrowing here with 82% of the vote in so far. The lead is narrowing in Virginia 7th. And Virginia 10th, it's narrowing as well with 74% of the vote here. And we know that the 11th is going to go Conley. But this one here we're watching with KO or Sayo. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Houston, I can't see that. I can't get in that. Oh, yeah, Houston is going to go Democrat. I think Houston's here, right? Or is it there? I think this is Houston here. Nothing's reported yet here. We'll find out. Very good. All right. Let's zoom back out. Wisconsin's starting to report. Some of these districts are starting to report in here. Now, Wisconsin, we want to watch this Senate in Wisconsin, I believe. Johnson is the seat we want to watch there in Wisconsin as these polls close. We hope that Johnson can hold on to that seat against Barnes. Some people feel he can. We'll find out. I was not a media major in college, no. Dissident Agnostic, thank you so much, Dissident Agnostic, with a 10-pound super chat. If you had to give your last gold coin to either Pelosi or Schumer, how many times would you boil your head? I'd say 7. 7 times. That's just a number out of my head. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, if I had to do it. Because it'd make me 7 times over, because that's how much I'd regret doing it. Steve Bannon coverage says Reds making big moves. I'm trying to be as fair as I can on this. And so far, at least, and I'm not a professional at this, but it's not looking like it's going to be a huge red wave. I think we still may pick up the House by some, but the Senate is going to be tight and it's going to be close. This is just too close to call for Ohio at this point. But look at Ohio and Georgia. I'm not holding out much hope for the Senate here. Why is this? Because look at the governorships. Already Mike DeWine has been projected winner there. And in Georgia, it's still too close to call, but Brian Kemp has a solid lead so far with 54% there. But at the Senate side, it's the opposite. It's not looking good. Not looking good for Walker. It's not looking good for Vance. At least at this point in time compared to the Senate. All right. So I don't know. All right, let's see here. Of course, as expected, now results are starting to come in for New York. And Schumer got it as expected. Governor races. We're going to watch this one. Lee Zeldin, they say, may have a chance with 8% reporting. Now, obviously, this is very early on. But Lee Zeldin may have a chance there. We'll see here. Maybe do some push-ups to help the USA go red. All right, we'll see here. On the next super chat, we'll do push-ups, okay? We'll do that. For those of you who are maybe new to the channel, typically now, with exception tonight, usually any dollar donated via super chat would be 1 push-up. Any dollar donated via PayPal, Friends, and Families, 2 push-ups. So we'll do that for the next one that comes in. All right. So there's where we're at. Governorships in Texas, we're also looking at 34% reporting. Greg Abbott with a commanding lead so far, but it is early in the night. Some of these other states, no surprises. Although here, this is kind of a surprise so far. 20% reporting. Joy Hoffmeister is ahead in the governorship in Oklahoma. That's odd. That is very odd. Kansas, way ahead with Laura Kelly in Kansas as a Democrat. Is that odd? I don't know. Nebraska ahead with Carol Blood. How can this be? These are usually red states. All right. Very good. Let me take another sip of some water here. Now, Vermont is showing leaning red now so far. That's strange. I think these are just way early. Chris Sununu is now, all right, look at this. Now, New Hampshire, very little reporting yet, but Chris Sununu is coming in and projected the winner. Not much of a surprise there, but in the Senate, let's look at New Hampshire because this would be a great thing to see. In the Senate if New Hampshire were to flip. And we can see that so far it does not look like that's going to be the case, but we're still early in the night. All right, there's where we are at now. Some of the mountain and Midwestern states polls have closed now. And then you can see the projected winners for these Senate seats are abundantly clear. Rocky Superstars, until the states get rid of these voting machines, nothing will change. Yeah, it's crazy. Yes, indeed. Yes, thank you. Yes, if you do donate, thank you. JM Unleashed says, if you do vote via PayPal, Friends and Family, make sure you put your channel name or your YouTube account name so that we can recognize you here in this live stream. Thank you very much. All right. Mike's big epiphany. I still say you should vote anyways. it's our best chance. You vote so that you can vote. If enough of you vote, it'll overwhelm the system for the ability for them to do what they do, if you know what I mean. I can't say it, but you know what I'm saying. Yes, indeed. Very good. There's where we are at. So let's get back over here to we're watching Virginia. I really am curious about some of these House seats. They say Virginia's 10th and Virginia's 7th are bellwethers, and we don't have any winners yet. But so far, Vega is still holding on to I won't say commanding lead, but a notable lead against the incumbent Spanberger in Virginia's 7th. They say that's a bellwether. And the 10th is close enough too, with 74% reporting there, that we could see a flip there. But it's doubtful, but we'll see. All right. And then these districts down here, I think that seat down in down on the very tip in Brownsville area, I think is that Flores, is that Republican down there that won it for the first time in I don't know how many decades. But she may not be able to pull this off now with almost half the votes in. They typically vote Democrat. And this one here, De La Cruz is ahead, but I don't know if it's De La Cruz. It's one of these two seats. But I'm not sure who that one is there. But anyways. All right. And as you can see, I think this is Houston area. And this is going to probably be all blue throughout here, is my guess. All right. Starting to see some of these other congressional districts start to light up a bit. Some of these states. I can't believe Alaska's not reporting yet. What's going on with Alaska? Come on, Alaska, get with it. And Hawaii. What is going on with Hawaii? Why are they not reporting 0% in? Get with the program, Hawaii. Good grief. No, I'm kidding. You guys know I'm kidding. I like to have a little bit of a good time here, too. They're going to be the very last, and they're not really going to matter a whole lot, except for maybe the Senate. Well, the Senate seat here in Alaska is going to matter for sure, but nonetheless. All right. So far, none of these House seats have any reports coming in yet. And maybe that's just it. Maybe they're not coming in at the same rate. I don't know. Because there's others that are coming in at 15%, but there's nothing for these House seats coming in. Really weird. Okay. Yeah, I know, Silver Patriot. I'm just having a little bit of fun here. Okay, let's see what some of these live updates are saying. North Carolina Senate race has tightened. And I'm not really going to read because a lot of these people are liberal hacks, mostly probably. So, but we've not really talked about the North Carolina Senate seat, but it's Bud that's there. But let's take a look at that and see what we've got. Bud is ahead. It's an open seat, but I hope Bud will pull it off. I think Bud is somewhat of a moderate. It's the closest race so far, 49.5 to 48.5. North Carolina's been one of the states that's kind of flip-flopped a bit. Hope it goes blue. Okay. I like that dissonant agnostic. Charles Schumer lamenting white supremacy is worse than injecting fentanyl into your eyeball. That's about right. He about summed it up. All right. That's right. HVAC. That's right. I remember when that happened. Lock up the... There you go. I can't even say what he said there. I'm for fear of anything, but you're right. That's exactly right. A toilet. Watch what happens. Something's going to leak somewhere. Gotta shut her down. Gotta shut her down. Exactly right. Oh, insane in the membrane. Very good. We're doing election coverage tonight. And through this, we're going to dip into the metals prices to see what's happening, the Asian markets and how they're reacting. And so far, the metals are down a little bit tonight, just a little bit. As really, it's a little bit early to tell what's happening across. It's still, we're, just after 9 o'clock now. So we'll see here. I've got another bottle of water I'm going to pour in this coffee cup to slurp tonight, as we do a little bit more watching of the coverage of the elections here in the United States of America, because they can affect precious metals prices. We'll see. I don't think we're going to get the red tsunami, but we may get a red wave or a red, I don't know, small red wave maybe. That's what I'm thinking we'll get tonight. But I hope we take both houses. We'll see here. We'll see what happens. Let's take a look at some of these governorships. Michigan is starting to come in now with 9% reporting. Gretchen Whitmer has 52.5%. Would like her to go to Nebraska, and Gretchen goes to Nebraska. For those of you who are King's X fans, you know what I'm talking about there. Tudor Dixon at 46 and 9% reporting, so there's where that seat is out there. Tony Evans is behind Tim Michaels with 1% in Wisconsin. There's some of these other things. Oklahoma is now flipped now to Kevin Stitt. So a lot of early stuff coming, early results coming in some of these places here. All right, Maine. Let's look at Maine. Paul LePage with 9% reporting is behind against Janet Mills. All right. All right, there you go. All right, John S. is on water for the evening as well. He's had enough beers. All right. Brian Kemp still ahead here for the governorship, but not called yet. The races are too close to call so far. And, we're definitely outside of the period why I don't think this is going to be a massive tsunami. I think it's going to be very close in some of these races where it shouldn't be close. It should be a red tsunami. But you got to think about it, folks. The media are in the bag for Democrats across the board. So I think this is part of the reason why. And I also think our education system is failing us in this country with all the woke agenda being infiltrated. And really, honestly, folks, before there was a woke agenda, the schools have been infiltrated for the last 40, 50 years with the leftist ideology. It's slowly trickling its way into our education system. That's part of what is contributing to these things, to the further increased demise of the country. And I think there can be a lot of disappointed folks tonight in that regard, even if we get slim majorities in both houses. These races are going to be so close. But anyways, you got a media, you got an education system, and you've got the cabal, you got the deep state. All three of those things are working against us tonight, folks. And so we've got to fight that, among other things, which I'm not going to say, but you all know what I'm talking about here, especially with what's happening in Maricopa County, Arizona, as we see things start to develop tonight. Let's look at the House again. I want to look at Michigan in the House and see what's going on there, because I'm going to zoom in on Michigan. So I'm going to see what's going on over there. We've got the thumb part of the glove. We've got McLean strongly ahead here, which is good. Michigan's 11th. This is Detroit area. Called the winner there. Barrett might be able to pull this one out and beat Stotkin. We'll find out. 20% reporting in this one. There was James, I think, was one of these last time that ran. I don't know if he's running again, but no talk of that one. But so far, very, very close, or very early in Michigan yet. We'll find out. Let's go down into some of these Ohio races. A lot of these called already, or projected rather. Called and projected, I guess you would say. And we're hoping Ohio's 15th will be able to stay with Kerry. 27% in there. Leaning Democrat, though, in some of these. Virginia, all red. West Virginia, all red. Mooney has projected to be the winner here. And so both these districts look like they're going to be holding on to their congressional seats. That's great. Pennsylvania, we're looking at Thompson here. Some of these counties, 17% reporting in here in some of these counties. On the eastern side, mostly blue. Not a lot of surprises here, though. Although this little area here in New Jersey is kind of an interesting thing to see. But he was the incumbent, Maliatukas. But in eastern Pennsylvania, a lot of these counties here, very, very few votes tallied in these areas here. Okay. Nice. All right. We march ahead. There's where these, but we'll watch these closely. Let's get, still very interested to see what's happening in these two districts here. Virginia's 7th and Virginia's 10th. These are bellwether elections. Where these go, they say the whole nation could go tonight. These are bellwethers, especially Virginia's 7th, and it's still looking good with 83%, but it's been holding at this for quite a while now. So I don't know what's going on there. And Virginia's 10th has been kind of hanging out there at 75%. I think it was 74 last time we checked. All right, let's take a look at Texas again. We're watching two Texas House districts here. This one here, where Flores, I think, was the one that won after so many decades. And 49% of the vote is kind of holding on there. She's behind, handedly. 10 points there. The Senate seat, there is no Senate seat in Texas. But we're going to look over here and see the governor race in Texas. And Greg Abbott is maintaining a strong lead, 42-46 against Francis. Yes. Francis O'Rourke. Okay. And so let's see here. Georgia, we've got 58% reporting with Brian Kemp at 51.9 to 47.5 against Stacey Abrams. Michigan, 10% reporting. Gretchen Whitmer is at 52-46 now. So far, no surprises that we can see. Let's zoom out. Let's get back to the beginning of the map. Special election for Senator. Mullen is ahead. California's got a special election. Padilla versus Moser. Okay. Let's see here. Georgia Senate seat, 58% in. Still a commanding lead for Warnock, unfortunately. And Pennsylvania, we almost, almost no need to really check this because it's so slow. Likely this may not come in until much later in the evening. But, man, some of these results are really still too close to call for many of these races. And I always hate this on election night because, and I used to find the New York Times used to have a really good, I'm going to see if I can find the New York Times. I know they're a leftist rag, but typically they have pretty in-depth election coverage. I'm looking at it here on another browser. And they don't have the reports. Let me see here. Oh, no, you got to subscribe. That's right. You got to subscribe. It wouldn't let me do it. Oh, well. No wonder why the New York Times isn't doing it. All right. I guess we're stuck with this. We can't see the county by county for these Senate seats. And so we're going to just keep an eye on these things for a little while longer here tonight and see where we're at. I appreciate everybody joining me here tonight. And let's see as we march on through. Colorado Senate seat. This was one that we thought we might get, Odia, but Bennett is the incumbent and is likely to take it. 39% of the vote. They may call this one soon. This may be the first mountain state that they may call for Democrats here. All right, let's see here. And let's see. This is another Senate seat we're watching, but some of these tallies have really stopped. They've paused at 18% now for New Hampshire. They're really slow at getting these results in. I thought they would be faster than this, but Bolduc, I think that's how you pronounce it, was thought to have had a chance in New Hampshire. So I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know where we're at, but I'm a little bit surprised they've not gotten more of these results in. Makes you wonder. Now, look at that. Ohio is flipped so far with 45% of the vote in. Ohio is flipped to Vance with 45% of the vote now, and that's exciting to see. Vance is now ahead in Ohio. A little bit encouraging. Let's look at the governor's race here. With 44% reporting, DeWine is at 60% now against Nan Whaley. But we can't get any pull out for Walker yet to flip that so far, but they're at 60% vote in now for these results in the Senate seat. If neither candidate gets 50% of the vote, they will go to a runoff for an election on December the 9th against the top two. And this is a case where the Libertarian Party could ruin it for Walker. So, shame on anybody who voted for Oliver in Georgia. Okay, let's see here. There's where that is. So we've got that. We are looking back here. Let's look at the governor's race in Michigan again. Gretchen Whitmer's lead has narrowed slightly to Tudor Dixon, who had a real chance there. So there's where that is. What will the GOP do besides cut taxes? I'm hoping they cut regulation and send a bill in for domestic drilling is what they should do. Cut taxes. They need to cut taxes. They need to lessen regulation, open up the free market a bit, and domestic drilling, domestic production of goods and services here in the United States, and fight crime. Get bills to be tough on crime. Those are the things that they can do. Basically, what the GOP should do is they should make create an environment for the people to make America great again, because it's the people that make America great. It's not the politicians. That's what we need. That's what Republicans can do. So anytime you cut taxes and you lessen regulations, then you do fine. We've never had a free market. Well, we've had there's no laissez-faire in any country in the world. In fact, the freest country in the world is Singapore. Singapore is the least regulated for business in the entire world. So we need to get to that standard. We need to get to where we were before. To have the freest market we can is the best option. But certainly more government is not the answer, that's for sure. Yes, indeed. Yes, it is a good night, a good time to spend with the family. All right, thank you, Global Warmer. Thank you so much. Hey, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Give my best to your family, to your kids. You are awesome, the Global Warmer. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you tonight. Yes, indeed. I know some of my regular viewers. This is not what I usually do. This type of thing, but yes, indeed, we're doing a little bit of election coverage tonight here. So yes, indeed. Yes, fingers crossed for Tudor Dixon. We're holding out hope for her. Now Gretchen Whitmer has expanded her lead slightly, but yes, but it's only 10%. So the night is young. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's see here. Lee Zeldin, New York governorship here. Kathy Hochul is still ahead with 14%, dramatically ahead of Lee Zeldin. There was hope that Lee Zeldin may be able to pull that one off tonight, but it may not happen. It may be, that may have been a pipe dream for New York. It very well could have been that the polls were completely wrong there. But, you know, I'm hoping he'll pull it out. I hope if you were in New York, you voted. All right. Let's get to the Senate back again. So far, there's really not been any surprises, no big moves. It's been a slow night. Bud is ahead a little bit there in North Carolina. Rubio won, that's good. Walker's behind by 2 percentage points now, with 61% of the vote in right now. Wisconsin, with Johnson, Barnes is ahead handily with 10% of the vote in so far in Wisconsin. But the night is young. Sadly, the night is young, and it's after 9:30. Who's going to win? I don't know, Terry. I just don't know. I don't make any. It's tough to say in any of these races. I mean, look at this, Fetterman. I mean, how could anybody vote for Fetterman? It's insanity. It blows my mind. If he got one vote, it's just like, I mean, I would expect his wife to vote for him, but that's it. I mean, the guy, did you see the interview with him on that NBC? To see all of his speeches? And in fact, even if he had not had that stroke, just what he believes is insane. Radical leftist. It's insane. Thank you, Evil Cowboy. I appreciate you being here. I'm no professional at this. I mean, there's a lot of probably other channels that can do this a lot better than I can, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me here. It's an attempt to finagle my way through this. We're going to go now into the nitty-gritty with some of these seats. We can see, again, not a lot happening here. We're looking for flips, but we've not really seen a whole lot. We're starting to see North and South Dakota, some of these things come in for some of these districts now coming into play. But we are watching very, very closely a couple of Senate seats. It's Virginia. We're watching Virginia 7th and 10th. And so far, with 84% of the vote in, we have got Vega is ahead 41 to 49. So that's 2 points against the incumbent Spanberger. They say that this could be the bellwether for the night. It's going to be a very good night for Republicans if this seat flips here tonight. We're also watching the 10th, which was ground zero for all the school stuff, the school board meetings. And Wexton has a very commanding lead with 83% of the vote. Not looking good for Sayo or KO or whoever that Republican is tonight. Okay, thank you, JM Unleashed. I'm trying my best, and thank you so much. All right, Matthew Hug, I voted no to your survey question and mailed my ballot 2 weeks ago. Well, that means you voted. That means you did vote. Very, very good. All right. All right, thank you so much, and thank you, guys. So let's come out there. We're also watching Texas. These couple of districts down here in Texas. Flores, I think, is the incumbent there who won that special election last time at 49% of the vote. She's way behind Gonzalez. Yes, indeed. Jim Meadows, her Oz's Republican primary opponent at a pro-life event. The party picked the wrong candidate. Maybe so. Oz was... A lot of people didn't think Oz was the best candidate. And I don't really know how conservative he is either. Yes, indeed. All right, thank you. Some nights I fall asleep listening to your voice. All right, thank you, John. Hey, I appreciate you watching, John. If I can help with a lullaby or singing a lullaby, I'll try my best. But I'm hoping Oz can pull it out tonight, but we'll see. But it's not looking good so far, at least from what I'm seeing here. I'm watching these along with you guys. I'm not watching the pundits on Fox or MSNBC or anything like that. I'm just doing my own, from what I can see. I'm at a disadvantage. I have a handicap because last time during these things, I had websites I could go to that showed them on the county level and on not necessarily the precinct level, but on these districts and the county level where these counties were voting in. But we're not getting that tonight. If anybody knows where a reliable source we can do. Okay. Mike Bittner. Yeah, it was not specific enough if people voted today. All right. When we have 141 watching, I'm going to end the poll. I'm going to start it again. So we have a bigger crowd here tonight, so we're going to do this. Let's do this again. All right, here we go. All right. Let's do this poll, all right? Have you voted in the 2022 election? U.S. participation only. Crap, I forgot to put the Y at the end of O-N-L-Y. All right, there you go. All right, very good. There you go. All right, now, if we can get maximum participation in that poll to see if you voted. And again, if you live in these western states or any of these states have not closed yet, please vote. Please, please vote. Very good. Yes, anyone not eligible to vote in the midterms, please dismiss the poll question. That's right, very good, thank you. All right, not that we don't care about our foreign folks here. I do, I love all you guys, but I'm just getting a bellwether. I'm getting an idea of participation. I just want to see if you voted. All right, that includes early voting, includes mail-in voting. Yes, indeed. I wish Oz can pull it out. That's what she said. That's right. Pull out a victory. All right. Some of these races are being called in these districts. Clyburn is being called in South Carolina. No surprise there. More of these brighten up with these big colors, but all the important ones, not yet. Rocky has voted today. All right. Indivisible Man says Walker is tied with Warnock now. Let's go back and look at this. Last time somebody said that he was way ahead. Look at this. Wow. Amazing. Walker is now tied slightly ahead by 0.2%. I'm actually surprised and shocked at that. How quickly that could turn around. Wow. That is amazing. Let's see. Look at Pennsylvania. Of course, we couldn't have. I think Oz is slightly gaining a little bit, but still way behind Fetterman. So, wow. Interesting to see how quickly Georgia. There's a little bit of hope left now. That's kind of crazy. Wow. Thank you for that late-breaking information, Indivisible Man. Very interesting. Missouri Senate seat, we have Schmidt up, and it's looking fairly good for him so far, but again, it's not been called yet. Colorado, though, has been called for Bennett, which is not that much of a surprise, although there had been some hope early on that Odea could have done a number there, but alas, he could not pull that through with 44% of the vote coming in. So we'll see here. So maybe Walker could pull it out, although, again, he was not the strongest candidate, and he's not the most articulate, and I hate to say it, he's not the sharpest tool shed in the box, but I like Walker. But he's got good common sense. He actually did very good in the debate, better than I expected in the debate. So maybe he'll be able to pull it out, or pull one over, not pull one over, but pull it out. I don't know what other words to say. Silver Heist is here. Good to see you. All right. But yes, hopefully Walker will be able to pull through and come through with a victory there. New Hampshire, this is one we're watching too. 20% of the vote in, still trickling in. So still too early to tell, but maybe Bulldog could win. We'll find out. We're not going to call any of these races for sure. Again, we're not seeing by county in Georgia. And but you know what I may do? I may try something here. I'm going to do something off screen here. Just a second here. Let me pull up another. What are we at here? We may pull this directly from the I'm on the Secretary of State's website now, but I'm not seeing a map or something that let's see here. It's not showing us by what's been reporting by county in Georgia. It's got all these House and Senate races and governor, but nothing by county. Oh, county is reporting. Here we go. Here we go. Let's pull this up. We're gonna go directly to the Secretary of State's website, Brad Raffensperger. These counties that are reporting here. Oops. And this is not a very good map. Usually they would highlight and would give you the percent report. I'm not doing that this time. Completely reported, partially reported. Okay, so completely reported. So we want to look at counties around Atlanta. So partially reported, but it doesn't give us a percentage of reported in these counties. So this county right here, okay, when we click on it, it's just Fulton partly reported, but doesn't count as 73 for the whole state. This is what it is for the partially reported, but it doesn't give you the percentage in each county. So Fulton's just partially. That was ground zero last time. And so that one we're going to kind of watch and see when it in Marietta County, but Cobb County but Fulton County, that one there was big problems in Fulton County last time. Big problems in Fulton County. Henry says, Walker up by 2,000 votes. That's great. Del Cab, these are the ones we're watching here. So we'll keep on looking at that. And so far, governorships that we need to watch closely. Pennsylvania, there's really no use in looking there because we know it's gonna, those mail-in ballots and stuff like that happening, it's gonna be insane. That's right, Silver Heist. That's probably right. I can't even read that comment, Silver Heist. You know why I can't, but you're right. Probably right. Well, thank you so much over here. Hey, I appreciate that over here. I'm trying my best. I appreciate it. I'm new at this, doing this. And my voice is a little bit shot so far, but I'm trying my best. As usual, we're going to look at something here on how efficient some of these places are. If we go over here to the Senate race, look, 88% reporting. If we go to the House races, let's look at how some states do it better than others. Florida is the best. All of these, 91, 94, 96, 94, 98. Down there in the city, look at this in Miami, 98, 85, 98, 87. Whereas over here in Pennsylvania, 45, 29. New York, 13. 14. Crazy. 17. New Hampshire. Abysmal. It's crazy. 23. Maine, you've got 17%. So some of these states, they may have closed a little bit later. They may have closed an hour later. I won't give them that, but still, it's crazy. Yes, indeed. Yeah, exactly. We probably have to talk in code. All right, very good. All right, so there we go. We're going to zoom in again because we're watching pretty closely some of these. This is a bellwether, Virginia 7th, 84%. Vega, 51.49. Hardly any movement at all there. Looking at Virginia's 10th, where Wexton is still solidly ahead, 52 to 47. And again, we don't know the precincts in that 10th district. I'd love to see that map to see where that is. But anyways, we look at these little live updates that tells us something, but they really don't tell us a whole lot. It's mainly, there's not a whole lot happening here. But anyways, just not a whole lot of activity here. We're coming on 10 o'clock. Keeping an eye on Georgia. The Senate race has tightened. Warnock leads Walker 49.6 to 48.6. 46% of the vote in. Warnock is just shy of 50% threshold to avoid a runoff election early in December. In fact, that's how quickly things can change. It's starting to flip back over. We're going to check that ourselves to see what Georgia's looking at now. We show here that Walker is ahead with 65% of the vote in, but that could have flipped back around to Warnock. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. I'm going to refresh this. See if these other counties show complete reporting green. Nope. These are the areas we want to watch. The areas around Atlanta is really going to make or break this, I think, tonight. Maybe Savannah, too. Of course, these rural counties around Macon, some of these other counties here that aren't reporting yet are low in population, but they could make or break as well, too. Just depends. All right. Robert, they are worried. Yes, indeed. We'll see. Wilbur Staler shows Walker ahead by 30,000. And yeah, we could look at the overall results here and see what we're showing here. Here we can see Walker. This is showing Warnock ahead. This is straight from the Secretary of State's office, showing that Warnock is ahead here. You look at the difference between here of 1.4 million to 1.3 million for Walker. So Warnock is ahead. Now we're looking at the results coming straight from the Secretary of State's office there. And again, we're not looking at Pennsylvania because it's going to be there's still, look at how far behind and all the mail-in balloting. It's just too early. And I won't be live streaming that late. But we may pull another one to see exactly where we're at with some of these other close Senate races. And New Hampshire is just too far behind. Too far behind to really speculate where we're going to go there. If you are here, participate in the poll. If you are a U.S. citizen, please, and of a voting age. If you have voted no, that you have not voted in this election yet, if you voted no, please stop what you're doing and go to the poll that's still open in your state. If you are in any of these states out west here, please vote. All right. I was hoping that while I live stream tonight that we can see some news break out. I'm going to actually go to let's see here. I'm going to look at a couple of sites here. All right. I'm looking at things happening there. Yeah, so far the news is not saying that anybody is, no surprises, nothing ahead, other than the fact that DeSantis and Rubio have won big in Florida. Florida is solidly a red state, as we can see there. There's 88% reporting there for Rubio. And the governor's race in Florida, thank God, is red. And Ron DeSantis is winning handedly with 88% reporting there against Charlie Crist, who used to be a Republican, but he was a rhino at the time. Overall results so far for governor, this is where it stands, 18-10, but it's very early. And of course, doesn't really matter who's, there's no balance of power there except for within each of the states, but it does give you an idea of the mood of the country. The more Republicans or Democrats you have, the Senate race, the balance of power. This is not showing any flips or whatever, but you can see here that we're getting closer to that middle ground there to see who's going to take over in the Senate. And 1 leans Democrat, 2 leans Republican, likely GOP, likely Dem. But so far, it's still early in the night, but these are starting to narrow here. For the House, it's still very far away from getting these seats called, but we shall see. Very interesting night so far. Old data on Georgia website. Okay, interesting. Thank you, Easy Tech. He says it's old data on the Georgia website. That's troubling. You would think that the Secretary of State's website would be the most up-to-date and the first to report. That is unofficial results. Totals may not include absentee or provisional ballots, but nonetheless, this is old data. Weird. What the heck is going on here? It's almost like we can close this down. That's just it. This is part of the confusion of election night. So Easy Tech. Yeah, if any of you guys know where the most accurate, complete, and detailed information is, I will go to that website. Email it to me if you can't post a link in there. Henry's got Walker up by 50,000 votes. So where are you going? Where? I'm on the wrong page. So if you know of a website where I can go to that is official, that's not biased or anything like that, let me know. I'm refreshing it. I'm refreshing this. And it's still got Warnock ahead. Now, this Politico is what I'm showing here. Politico, let's go back to the Senate. Showing the Dems lead. Likely Republican here. 66% of the vote reporting here. And I'm not very good. Silverholic. That's weird. Silverholic, well, your comment showed through now. We're letting all your comments come through. But hello, SSR. Good to see you. Appreciate you guys being here. All right, let's see here. Very good. All right, let's see. These are live reports. I don't know where they're getting their data, but anyways. CNN. Is CNN considered, I guess, as far as just reporting election results, do we dare go to CNN for election results? Do they do by the county? Let's see here. Yeah, you know what? Let's go to CNN. I hate to do this, but they've got county by county with the percent by county. Wow, I never thought I'd do this, but I don't know. But these are just, hopefully they're getting from the same sources, but we'll see here. But this is good that they have this. This is what I want. So you can see here that Henry, let's go to Fulton County. We've got 70% in, and Warnock is at obviously ahead. So this, when these come out to 100%, we know that we don't use these anymore, and we'll do that. So we're gonna do that for CNN. I know, yeah, I'm not a big fan of CNN either, but these are just election results, and so they. So far, this is what I want to see though, is these counties. You see what I'm saying? We're using them just for that. Nothing more. I know CNN is the most trusted news of toilet bowls, but other than that, but we're using them just for these results to see, because this is what I'm looking for. If you can find another website that shows them by county like this, we'll use it. In fact, you know what? I'm going to look over here. I'm going to try something. Maybe we'll try Fox News. Ted Budd, North Carolina winner, has been called. Let's see here. According to Henry von Meug, but we're gonna look at that here in just a moment. Fox News has a lot of stuff here at play as well. Maybe we'll just pull this up, Fox News, over here as well. But before we get to that, let's go over here to North Carolina. I'm not showing it as being called yet from Politico. Politico has not called Bud yet, but he is ahead. Here's Fox News. Senate 18 Senate seats left in play. And they are not calling, Fox News is not calling that seat yet either. So, let's see here. Walker, 66% in. Ohio, Vance is slightly ahead. Pennsylvania, Oz is behind slightly. Well, not slightly, but is behind. And you're not seeing what I'm seeing with this. I'm going to see if I can scroll this up a little bit to where you can see this ticker here. Okay. I think we can close this out. Secretary of State websites apparently aren't that. All right. Yeah, Fulton County. That's the one to watch for stuff happening there. I was going to say the other S word. Starts with a shin, ends with anigans. All right. But we won't go there. All right. Okay. Let's take a look at our 3 House seats that we're looking at. House districts, rather. We're looking at Virginia 7th with 84% of the vote in. No movement, hardly movement at all there. I don't understand that. Hardly any more. Yes, Vance is up. We talked about that earlier. Vance is up in Ohio, which is great. Hardly 88% in 10th. Not much activity. All right. Down here, we are seeing Flores still behind 10 points, 51% of the vote there. A little disappointing down in South Texas. All right. Very good. Let's see here. So we're hoping that the Republicans can pull this through here tonight. But we've not gotten anything that gives us concrete moves, but it is still early. We're seeing Arizona starting to report some results now for the House districts and the like. Let's look in the Senate in Arizona, because this is another one we're watching. It is narrowing there, but we're looking at nothing for the Senate yet with between Masters and Kelly. All right. Very good. And it is after 10 o'clock tonight so far as we report to you this live stream. Appreciate you guys being here as we watch these races. Vance is now 62% reported in, has a commanding lead against Ryan now. He's expanding his lead, which is wonderful news. This is great. All right, very good. Let's see here. And we're watching these. Now this is showing Warnock slightly ahead. Actually, they're tied, but Warnock is slightly ahead. I mean, by a couple of votes. 63 ahead there. Look how close this is. Insane in the membrane. Let's see if that shows up over here. No, he's showing ahead here. So CNN is showing Warnock slightly ahead by 63 votes. And let's see here. Where are we at? This is only showing these hot races. Connecticut, House. This is Virginia 7th. This is one we're watching. 84, no movement there. The 10th is another one we're watching in Virginia. Again, no movement. Wexton ahead there. No movement at all here in these races as far as the percentage points are concerned. And let's see here. My races. Your starred races. I don't know how you can star the races, but if we could do that, we would. All right. Ohio election results. So there we go. We're getting some of these coming in here. Governor, House, and Senate. This is okay. This is good. Uh, 100% in. So Athens can't get any more votes for Ryan than that. So that's good. And for the House results, some of these counties, 43%. These are going to be makes or breaks. This is going to be heavily Democrat, so expect Ryan to get a lot here. And also in Columbus, which I think is Franklin County. Just over half expect Ryan to get a lot there as well. And so we'll see what happens there. So that's pretty interesting. That's good. Let's look at Pennsylvania. And we can see these are trickling in. These counties here, look at that. Look at this. This is shameful, folks. This is an absolute shame. Nothing, hardly anything reported in yet in Bucks County. Pennsylvania first, look at that. 9% in. This is a shame. This should not happen in this country. 0% reporting. Just a trickle of votes coming in here. Obviously for Fetterman, but in Bucks County. But that's where we are at, and that's the thing we're looking at in Pennsylvania. Also Allegheny County. Look, they're doing a better job reporting over here, but as you can see, looks like it's going to come down to these counties here to watch, and also Berks and some of these neighboring counties here, Chester, Pennsylvania. They very well could make or break as to whether or not Oz gets it there. So we'll keep an eye on these. I'm glad that they have these all together like this so we can watch them. Wisconsin, let's take a look at Wisconsin and see what we've got for the Senate. County by county, we can see that, again, the night is still young as those polls have closed. Reuters seems pretty thorough. Okay, very good. Let's see here. See if I can pull that out. Thank you. Thank you, J.M. Unleashed. We're going to pull that and pull that over here into Reuters. If we have one place to go, that would be nice. Senate election results, but I think we're going to have to bounce around to see who's got where, what, where, and how quickly they're reporting these results. Now, they show Warnock ahead ever so slightly by 0.1% of the difference between the two. House here. Again, so now look at here. Virginia's 7th district has now flipped back to the Democrat, which is unfortunate, with 98% of the votes have been counted now. This is a turnaround, folks. This is not looking good. This was the district I was watching, the 7th. If you've been following us the whole night, this is one we've been watching for the whole evening. It looks like with 98% that it's close, but it doesn't look like that Vesla Vega is going to pull through tonight with 98% of the vote tallied here. It's going to be close, but I think Abigail Spanberger, who is the incumbent, is probably going to take that. The 7th has already been called for Jennifer Wexton, so that's unfortunate. Beat Hung Chow. I think it's Hung Chow now. Beat him, unfortunately. I did see an interview with Hung Chow earlier, and he was holding out hope that he could take that seat. It did not happen. This is unfortunate. Not a good sign as bellwethers for the night. Unfortunate indeed. Disappointment. So we may not get this wave. We might get a trickle tonight with the Senate, if we can take the Senate, and we may only get a few seats in the House by this measure. This is not looking good, in my view. If you're out west in Oregon or can make a difference in Washington, please vote and vote Republican. We really need help in this country. We really do. And I'm hungry now too. I need something, snacks or something, but Let's see here. Some of these counties here. And I like that these districts are showing the percentage reported. But anyways. Senate. No change at all. All right, here we go in the House. This is showing this Reuters. This is good. Thank you, JM Unleashed. Because this is showing the flipped. Flip 4 seats and gain 2 seats for Democratic governors, which is not good. We've lost 2 seats for governors, but we flipped 4 in the House. So Sarah Huckabee Sanders has won the governorship in Arkansas. As you know, she was the spokesman, the White House press secretary for a while for President Trump, and she's also the governor of daughter of the daughter of Governor Mike Huckabee, who also ran for president unsuccessfully. All right. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Okay. Trump is on Newsmax Live right now. Very good. Wow, Grassley. This is kind of weird, but maybe they're close. Grassley, very old, but he's behind so far, but there's 32% in Ohio. Boy, that would not be good if he lost that. Wisconsin, let's look at these Wisconsin results from Fox News. Where we're at in the Senate, how many are reporting so far. Still very early, 66%, but Johnson behind so far. Okay. Stacker Factor, heading off the gym, but sent you a little something for the great stream tonight. Oh, thank you, my friend. Oh, let's take a look here. Thank you, my friend. Oh, wow, very kind of you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. All right, Stacker Factor, thank you, brother. He sent $10 via Super Chat or via PayPal. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. You are very, very kind, my friend. Thank you so much, sir. All right. And West Mongol is watching from Kenosha, or Kinshasa, DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, maybe. Wow, thank you. If that's the Democratic Republic of Congo, let me know if that's right. But thank you so much for being here watching this election coverage. Here we're doing Small Little Precious Metals, a YouTube channel. In fact, part of this, we do watch precious metals as well. If you are new here, maybe from outside the precious metals community, I hope you will subscribe. We do watch precious metals and see how they're moving through the night as well through this coverage. And so far now we are seeing that gold is actually down slightly and silver is up through this, but the ratio has been maintained at 80. All right. Very good. TW is here. Welcome, TW. Sadly, I cannot even utter the name of his account there, but I wish I could. All right, thank you. Very good. All right. Let's look back over here. We are seeing, again, 4 seats flipped in the House so far. On the overall Senate, no change yet that we can see. But we are watching these seats. A lot of seats, a lot of these things are starting to really light up now across the nation. But we're waiting to see some movement in the House and some of these seats. Herschel Walker is now being shown ahead ever so slightly. Crazy. In fact, now we can see in Georgia, Walker is ahead by 748. So it's just moving around tonight. Moving around dramatically. Insane. Crazy. All right. Okay. All right, folks. It's getting late in the night, and I know we got a fairly good crowd here, but I actually have some more work to do for my video tomorrow, which my video tomorrow is going to be very important to watch tomorrow morning. So I hope you will stay tuned to that and subscribe to the channel to watch that. But it's going to be a while before we get any notable results. The only thing I can report to you, I mean, literally we could go for another 3 hours and not really probably get much where. We may get a runoff in the Georgia race. I was hoping we'd get more definitive results by now. You would have thought. It's just not happening. And it's going to come down to the wire a bit. It's going to be a nail biter, I think, on some of these. I do want to look at governors now here real quick. We're going to go through all of these. New York, Lee Zeldin is way behind, but, you know, it's just like, I don't know. I don't think Lee Zeldin's going to pull it out in New York in the governorship. It's still, who knows in Michigan. I hope Tudor Dixon can pull it off. We're not going to find anything about Washington for quite some time. But thank you, Rocky Superstar. Thank you so much. You guys are wonderful. Barnes is pulling out ahead of Ron Johnson, says Indivisible Man, which does not surprise me here. For the Senate seat in Wisconsin. Yeah, he's had a little bit there in Wisconsin. Mandela Barnes is. And that's with 49%, 45%. Still a little early, but anyways, so there's where we're at. Not a whole lot. The two bellwethers that I showed earlier in Virginia did not go our way, which leads me, and they say that those were bellwethers, so we may have a disappointing night. We may see a slight edge in the House, but we may not take the Senate, folks. We may not get the Senate. So we may have to expect that we may lose the Senate tonight, but it's a small victory to get the House. And my guess is tomorrow morning we may not get a whole heck of a lot more news. Ted Budd is still ahead in North Carolina slightly. And right now, the early results with 41% of the vote coming in show Mark Kelly with a commanding lead in Arizona. This is not good either. All right. So thank you so much. Oh, yes, thank you. James Unleashed has posted a link to the Red Wave video game earlier. You want to check that video out. But I'm actually tired. I've been talking a lot tonight. I did a usual live stream before this live stream. And I recorded some videos today, so I'm a little tired, and I got some work to do with another video and some other stuff. So I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm sorry I couldn't stay on longer to help report some of these results. But I do appreciate every one of you guys being here, and thank you for participating, for being here. Hang in there. If you have not voted, and you still can, I encourage you to do so. Strongly encourage you to do so. Your vote could make the difference if you're in one of these Western states. So thank you guys so much. A multitude of gratitude. If you've not subscribed to the channel, I hope you will. We do precious metals here. Talk about precious metals, but we do talk politics to some extent as well. But thank you guys so much. A multitude of gratitude. Keep your feet on the stars. Vote and keep reaching for the ground. Take care. See ya.